Okay, we'll stand for the pledge, please. We'll call the meeting to order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Take a look at the agenda. Any corrections or all changes there, Steve, or anybody have any comments on that?
Mr. Chairman, I have no additions to the agenda.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, I move for approval.
Les made a motion to
Second.
approve. Chris seconded. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, then the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'd move the consent agenda.
Luke made a motion to approve.
Second.
Chris seconded. Any other discussion? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Dan, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, good. Just want to make sure you were there. Okay, it's
Yep,
9:03.
I was aye.
Okay, we got you. We'll record your vote. Kyle. Give us some information about the GIS system.
Yep. Good morning.
Morning.
You should have received a project estimate proposal. What we're looking at doing is we've contracted with ProWest to do some of our GIS setup for our ArcGIS Online. Part of that is having the capabilities of collecting data out in the field also. The Highway Department has been wanting to do a sign inventory for a number of years with GIS. What we're planning to do is incorporate our 911 signs, and then the Highway Department will be inventorying all the other highway signs into a GIS database, which will give them the capabilities to have the GPS location of the sign along with the condition of the sign and the type of sign and all that data housed in a database. So what we're proposing is that we contract with ProWest to set up this database that the Highway Department will maintain their sign inventory on for an estimated cost of $7,824 for the setup.
Kyle, is this a one-time expense, or is it going to be every year?
Nope, this would be a one-time setup expense for the backgrounds data and the setup of the inventory. It is also probably going to require that we buy some equipment with this, which will include a tablet, a laser remote for shooting the GPS locations of the sign from the vehicle. I think we've got an estimate of about $8,000 for the cost of that equipment. But that can be used for multiple things, so it's not, just a one-time use of equipment. So Nick isn't ready to purchase that at this time yet, but that's something that I'll be bringing to the board in the future. We'll be, in talking with Steve and our GIS committee, or group that met, we're anticipating using the buffer enforcement aid for these expenses. Right now, that account has a little over $200,000 in it yet, so there's adequate monies there to continue the work that we're doing with GIS.
Is this going to be any help to law enforcement or the emergency services as far as if they need to locate somebody with a little blue sign on their driveway and they're not sure where they're going and it's dark or snowing? Is this going to be a help to get?
It will be, well, mainly for Trevor.
People?
Trevor's the person that takes care of the signs, so if he has an accurate GPS location of the sign, he's likely to be able to go out in the field, find that stub of the sign if it's been ran over, and not have to go through the Gopher State call, because if he can find that stub, he'll be able to save 3 days of work by having that specific location of that sign. And by having that other equipment, we're going to be able to get down within centimeters potentially of the sign location, so it's going to be very accurate also.
This is a little bit off your subject here, but I've had several times when the post office calls me and said, I'm supposed to deliver mail to this location and there's no actual sign there, there's no address. And so they just take the mail back. And so they'd like to have every site or whatever have a sign on it, especially if somebody's just living there in a mobile home and it's temporary.
Right, and if it's the one that I'm aware of,
You'll probably have heard calls about that
yeah,
as
they
well.
weren't supposed to have two dwellings there, so we did not give them two signs.
Okay.
So we've only addressed one sign because that was what they were only allowed to have.
Yeah, and sometimes there was no building permit issued for the
Right.
residents, so there's no record of anybody even being there.
Yep.
So I don't know, that's kind of a gray area, but.
Right. But no, this software, the GIS stuff that we have online will give us the capabilities to do multiple entities. I mean, the EMS will be able to utilize it. We also will be able to set up an inventory, so if there's a disaster, we can have all of the township people being able to collect, culvert replacements, that type of things, and it'll upload to our server. So we're just kind of getting the early stages of this whole capabilities of the software, and it's going to take quite a number of years probably before it's utilized to the extent that it's able to.
This isn't gonna take the place or make a flyover.
Nope,
at some
nope, this
point.
is
That's gonna
strictly
a separate deal from the flyover
database
and all
software.
that.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, that's imagery, that's totally separate.
How does this tie into the buffer program?
It's enhancing our capabilities to do remote things. So right now, the legislature has not required that we track how we spend the money, but talking with Steve, I feel that as long as we're increasing the county's capabilities of data collection, it could be utilized for buffer if need be. The sign maybe is maybe a bit of a stretch, but we've got, I mean, at least it's a designated expense, in my opinion, that it's a benefit to the county.
And we have enough money laying there, so it's not that we're.
Right, I mean, I know some counties are buying vehicles, some are buying, permitting software, other things like that with the monies, but it's your money, I mean, so it's not, there is no ear tag for the specific expenditure of those funds.
Right, I was just wondering if there had to be a tie more directly to the ditch buffers.
AMC is recommending that we track how we spend the money and that we are able to justify that it's utilized appropriately so that we're just not, wasting it. But I think GIS is a worthy expense.
Okay, anybody have any other questions, comments, motions?
I can see the benefit of this program, and I can see why we can use this money for it. So I'll make a motion to approve it.
I would second the motion.
Second it? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, Dan's in there.
We are also working on some other solutions, some tools for the assessor's office possibly will be utilizing, so that's something else that I might be bringing back in the future. So we're planning to continue our, expanding the capabilities by having more tools too, so.
Were we planning on a flyover sometime in the next couple of years?
We don't have a designated specific date. Our last flight was this spring.
Okay.
So the contract is for the next one to possibly be in 3 years if we choose, but it's not required that we have to do another one in 3 years. It's optional. There is talk of.
Several years ago, you had a meeting down here, and the people that were interested could come, and they had a presentation about the flyover and what they gather, information they gather, pictures.
Yep.
Stuff. I thought that was really interesting. I think a lot of people would be interesting. I don't know if that's something that takes a lot of time, or we need somebody to present that, or how that worked at the time, but I thought it was pretty,
And that was pictometry.
good for people to see what's out there.
Right, if you go onto the county's website now and under there's a GIS link and there's GeoMoose, but then there's also the GIS online. You can go on there and actually look and see what we've got so far. It's just another tool to view parcel data, the imagery, and find tax information. And then it also gives the public the capabilities of generating a mailing label from a specific point. So if you wanted a mile buffer around an area, it'll give you a mailing label capabilities. And the big stuff that's happening with the GIS is that right now, nightly, what's happening is there's an extract from Vanguard with the assessor's data, with the sales information, and then there's another one from CPI or CPT that'll dump all of the parcel data, and that'll upload every night so that when you go online, you'll see the most recent owner information from all of those downloads. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening that we're paying for that's happening in the backgrounds that people really don't realize, but it's making our data much more current.
Okay, any other questions for
No.
Kyle?
Board members too, we are just on the cusp. We're just tapping into this GIS now. It's really starting to move ahead. We've seen some projects come forward, and moving forward with this project too will help us. If road signs get damaged, they'll know exactly where they're supposed to be. So, and they can inventory, well, the signs are fading and it's time to replace these. I don't know if you've driven around the counties and seen other counties. Lyon County specifically, as I drive up 23, if you have noticed, there were street signs, most of them are faded. I don't know if they got a bad batch of material, whatever, but they are fading, and this will be part of the inventory too. It says time to replace.
Yep, and the highway has to do a reflective study also. So they need to be driving signs at night to see how reflective they are, so this will be part of that also.
Okay,
How do you
thanks.
measure that?
What's that?
How do you measure that?
I don't know, that would be a question for Nick or for Trevor, I don't know.
Probably a sensor.
Yeah,
You shine the special light at it.
Okay, thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.
thank you.
Will this happen soon, or is this something like in the spring, or?
Nope, they will start this right away, and then the highway will probably start the collection, I would think, next spring. Yeah.
Okay. And we have Sheriff Keith Freeman here for another vehicle purchase, again.
We have in our budget, first, good morning, we have in our budget for next year 2 vehicles, try to keep, try a couple, 2 or 3 a year, so Edison actually took care of all these bids to make sure they were equal and everybody got the same specs, and this is the results we got. I came in today because it's for next year, but we found out new vehicles are at least 4 to 5 months out. So I know we ordered one back in August or something, we just got that a couple weeks ago. They're just way behind, so, and so we want to get things on the road.
You don't have to
so-
pay for them until you take delivery anyway, so.
You
that's
get them,
fine.
so. Papic was the one, kind of based on, you can see that, but based on their, allowed a little bit more trade-in for that vehicle we're trading in, so,
Is that one vehicle you're trading, or 2?
we're trading one, because Tyler's now, the jail administrator is also a deputy. We're gonna give him a actual patrol car, plus we have a spare that way if one goes down, but he does respond to calls, so what we're actually do is the old jail car, I don't know what year that one is, we got that old Impala. We're gonna trade or sell that, but we figured it'd be better off just put it on an auction or something. It's probably worth $1,000 or something.
This one you're trading in is a pickup?
Yeah, that black pickup that Tom drives.
It's got a lot of miles on it, I would guess.
113 maybe.
Well, they're giving you something for it.
Yeah,
I
they're,
mean, they're giving you a cash price, plus you're getting something for the trade-in, which
yeah,
is pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah, kind of, 136,000 miles on it, so I was real happy with that trade-in price on that, so. So I guess I would recommend if we could, go with Papic, because, for Durangos, I got a Durango last year to try it, and it's have been really good for us. Durangos are a little bit less expensive than the other vehicles right now in the same category, and we've had good results with them, so I'd go with 2 Durangos this year if that's.
Okay, anybody care to approve?
Make a motion.
Les made a motion
Papic?
to approve the purchase.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion
Just for,
by Bruce.
any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have, go ahead, Steve.
Chairman, I recommend we wait until 9:30
Okay,
for the discussion on salaries, so we give a chance for county attorney to get here, so we can get his schedule adjusted. Tyler's here early, which is fine, that's great. And Mary Ann DeGroat sent a note, she is out on medical leave right now. So,
okay. Can we go forward with anything, if you got anything, Kathy?
Yes, I do.
We've got 15 minutes to fill in here, so.
Morning.
Morning.
The request I have this morning is for the deputy assessor wage. And we did interview for the deputy assessor position. Chris took part in the interviews along with Steve and I. And we would like to make the offer to Chris McChesney. I have made a verbal offer to her based on what the personnel committee approved, but I do need the full board to approve her salary. We made the offer of C41 step E, which is $29.91 an hour. We really needed her to be there to get to make sure she was above the other staff in the office, and just making sure she got an adequate increase. And then on top of that, we made the offer to, if she gets her SAMA within the next 6 months, she would get an additional step at that point. Just a one-time additional step, just kind of incentivize that process. So I would need board approval. Les and Chris did approve that as part of the personnel committee prior to this, so.
Okay.
And that SAMA is the highest option?
Yes, so once she had her SAMA, she would have the qualifications to eventually be the county assessor. That is the highest level of licensure for the assessor's office.
Any other questions, or?
And she is planning, she has indicated she is planning to pursue that as soon as possible, so.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, Les? Anybody care to second it?
Second.
Chris, second it. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you, and she'll be starting officially January 1st in that position. So,
Okay,
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, Kathy. Steve, do we have time to go into your business release program? or do
Yes,
you
I
wanna-
think so.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, board members, this is just information at this point, but probably are aware of it through your AMC information that's coming out that the state has approved a business relief plan to businesses in the state. And going back against his Executive Order 20.99. So there's a pile of money that has gone out. There's going to be a batch going out to bars and restaurants through the Department of Revenue, which is approximately $100 million. And then there's a deed program going out to convention centers, movie theaters, and that's approximately $14 million. And then there's also a pot of the money, which is about $114,800,000 going out to counties. And what the counties are going to be asked to do is come up to very similarly what we did with the CARES grant. Pipestone County, based on our population, will be receiving $256,250. $6,250 of that is for administration if need be, and the other $250,000 are for grants. And specifically what they want to focus on is businesses, nonprofits. They mentioned nonprofit fitness centers, that type of business. So what my recommendation to the board is today is to keep the CARES Act committee in force and have the group get together, which is Commissioner Wildermuth, Nath, Auditor Treasurer Tyler Reich, and myself, and get together again and come up with a plan and bring it back to the board for action at this point. We already have the group set up. Tyler did an excellent job with running it the last time, and I think we should get together again and come up with what we want to do for this. It's still new. Information is coming out. A couple of counties have already jumped right into it, one of which is Becker County. They jumped in right away and started offering $2,000 grants to, virtually any business that was affected by it. They have an application. So AMC and MAC has been really involved in this. They're getting us more information. There's conference calls coming up. There's another conference call on the 23rd, tomorrow as a matter of fact. So we can get together on that and get some more information. That Matt Hilgart through AMC has been pretty much leading the charge in this and was very much instrumental in how this actually evolved in the legislature. And he basically was the go-between between the legislature and the counties in trying to get this thing going. He did a fantastic job moving this forward. There were a lot of ifs, ands, and a lot of questions going forward. But so that's my recommendation: is we get the group together again, come up with some plans, and then come back to the board with a recommendation. Money has to be spent by March 15th. So we do have a little bit of time, so we're not, behind the 8 ball or anything. It's still brand new. Information is still coming out. So we've got time to make a good plan for this.
When will you actually get the money? Or don't you know yet?
I don't know exactly when we get it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it by the end of the next week.
Okay. That sounds fine to me.
So we'll have
Do we
another
need
fund for that, and we'll just,
Do we need a motion to that effect? To just
if you're okay with it, that's what we'll,
The committee as it was before?
the committee hasn't disbanded or anything like that, so
Okay.
it makes sense to go forward with that, if that's all right.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I don't know. Dan, that all right with you?
Yes, I'd be more than willing to serve on that.
Okay, thank you. Then we'll go forward with that. Then we're 10 minutes away from, I see we have Mr. Sandy with us today. Do we need to wait till 9:30, Steve, or can we go ahead and?
Tyler has left, so let's hold on. Let's take a little break then, unless there's
Okay, we can
anything
take a
else you want
10-minute
to do.
break if you want.
What I will do is I will introduce all of you.
Oh.
Okay.
Destiny, this is the board, Dan's on a phone. Board, this is Destiny Johnson,
Hi.
she's our newest member.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
So, you talked to Luke. Yep.
Bruce Goyman.
He's going out, this will probably be one of the last days you'll see him.
Dallas will be taking my chair, so.
Welcome, Dallas. And then you have Chris, and Les, and obviously Steve, and a couple of other people here. This is Kyle Creer, Zoning and Conservation, Greenman. So, there's your introductions.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So we can keep her down.
Welcome, Destiny.
And Dan, I forgot
Yep,
you
hello.
because you're on the phone.
No, that's okay. You did introduce me, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. Destiny. Welcome. When things get back to normal, it'll be terrific.
Yeah, you will be, won't it? So, yeah,
Absolutely.
we've been keeping her busy. You can see from the paper what's been going on in the county.
Well, glad to have you. Welcome aboard.
Give you your 10 minutes. And
Okay, we'll just take a quick 10-minute break and we'll resume with the salaries thing, so.
all good.
I can just let you guys know too that I just had Bruce sign a certificate of appreciation for Rod Altina
Yep.
and Bruce Novak. Those two members will be going off the planning commission this year.
Okay.
They've each served 9 years, so I'll be bringing recommendations for replacement in January for the board.
Okay.
I just dated him today, I don't know if that's okay.
That's nice. Yep.
She's a styrofoam, but it's only about that tall.
Okay,
Okay, we're gonna
And
go back into
the-
session, Dwayne, so,
Yeah.
it's 9:30, we'll,
Chairman,
Go ahead.
I have to make an apology. I neglected to put Tyler's name on the list for salary discussion. He's
Oh.
obviously here. I'm sorry for that. That's my bad. I didn't mean to do that.
just being nosy,
He's obviously part of it as well, so.
okay?
Don't worry, Tyler.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, anybody gonna present something here, or is it, do we have to, salary discussion?
I'll present from my side. Our office just appreciates all the support you guys give us, so, every year we appreciate it. Hasn't changed, we appreciate it.
Okay,
Only comments I would have would just be that whatever was budgeted, just that. I mean, happy to where everyone knows it's tough. I personally know it's a tough year next year. That's what we really have, so pretty straightforward year this year.
And I'd echo what Keith says and Tyler says. Same thing, we budgeted 1%. It was requested we stay within. That's it. Whoa.
Okay. So Mary Ann isn't here to present anything, but she's out on leave or something today.
She did send information along as well, which is in your packet. She said, "I will be unable to attend as I have a follow-up with my surgeon and will still be on medical leave. If I was attending, I would like to remind the Commissioner that the elected official salaries have not kept up with the union employees and non-elected department head salaries, as they are receiving a COLA as well as step increases. Some are receiving COLAs, some are not if they're at the end of their steps as well." Mr. Chairman, what also has transpired is we have settled with the deputies union, and we settled for basically a 3-year contract. So we settled for 3% salary increase in 2020, 2.5 in 21, and 2.5 in 22. I've done some work on the budget and went through it, and if the board were to approve a 3% salary increase to the elected officials, set the non-union employees at 3%, assistant county attorney as well, and also when the board has the discussion on their salary, the additional cost to the budget for 2020 would be approximately, within a few $100s, $89,000. And there is enough money in the budget to cover that. So everyone budgeted for 1%, and that included 1% PERA, FICA, and also Medicare, Social Security as well. So I added an additional 2%, also including the Medicare 1.45, the FICA 6.2, and then the different PERA amounts, and come up with a total of $88,495 additional is what it would cost us to do a 3%. In the non-departmental account, I have $149,000 in an undesignated fund in there for a situation that we could use the money for, and this would be one we could use it for. So within the budget for 2021, there's enough to cover a 3% increase.
That's for all employees?
That's for all.
Yeah.
And we are in negotiations right now with the other 3 locals as well. But we have settled with one, as I mentioned, for a 3-year contract with the deputies union for 3% for 21.
Okay. Anybody have any comments, wishes, motions?
I guess, Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we set the non-union COLA at 3%.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. Is that, what about the,
The electeds, we have 2 separate.
Yes.
the elected, the county attorney?
And Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion, we set the county attorney's salary at $81,693.94.
That's for the county attorney?
Yep.
Is that in line with what?
It's a 3%, I'm just taking it off this.
All right.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, then you still need the elected officials?
Yeah, we have to do each one
Okay.
separate.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we set the auditor treasurer's salary at $90,176.50.
That's the auditor treasurer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You want to do them all separately, or do you want to just talk about
We have
it?
to
You
do
want the
them
number?
Separately is
Okay,
fine.
all right. Okay, all in favor of that? This is Tyler.
Did we get a second?
No, we haven't.
I don't believe we did. Okay, but I'll second it. It's okay.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. What about Mary Ann?
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion, we set the recorder salary at $80,469.27.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move that we set the sheriff's salary at $97,868.03.
Okay.
Second.
I would like to second that.
Les already seconded, Dan, so thank you.
Okay, good enough.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor of the sheriff's salary?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. What's left?
Mr. Chair, I'd move that we set the commissioner's salary at $22,835.87.
Okay,
Second.
Les seconded. Any other discussion?
Discussion. I disagree. I believe that we're being compensated very fairly now, and I think in light of the current economic situation, we should not take an increase of any.
Okay. Anyone else?
I agree with Dan. Right now, with the times being tough, we made a whole lot of strings to get everybody else up to 3%. I don't believe the commissioners need a boost at this point.
I think in the recent chart we saw comparing other counties, I think we're right about in the middle of that, aren't we? I mean, we haven't been too high and we certainly haven't been low either, so I guess I wouldn't mind, well, I'm going to be here anyway, but I wouldn't mind seeing it stay for a year at where it is, but you still have the mileage and per diem funds too available, so, but.
Yes, if you get behind, though, it's hard to make it up
Yeah.
later.
Okay, all in favor of the commissioner's salary at $22,835, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
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 Okay,
Mr. Chair, I will move that the commissioners take no salary increase or per diem increase for this year.
Second.
any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, anything left on that?
Two assistant county attorneys. I'd move that we set Scott Barduson's at $30,215.57.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to set Destiny Johnson's salary at $56,650.
56,650. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
What are we missing, Luke?
I think that's it.
Should be it.
Okay.
We covered the per diems in the commissioner motion, so.
On the per diem salary motion that Dan made and Chris seconded, voting for that was Dan, Chris, and Bruce. Is that correct? Okay. So yeas.
That is correct.
I think we did increase the per diem a year or two ago to kind of evened it out a little bit.
We're more on the higher end with the per diems with the other counties.
Middle of, not that you have to compare with everybody else, but I think we're right in the, kind of in the middle of the other counties.
Middle of the road.
Per diems are at $100 right now. Mileage rate is still 57.5 cents a mile. I do not know if the feds will increase that or not at this time. In reading through some of the stuff online, it sounds like it may stay the same. So I'll know more about when we get to our January 5th meeting where we'll set that. Hopefully we'll have that information by then. See if the federal government can get something done there.
Okay,
Okay, thank you for that.
anything else to go over there?
Nope, we've got them all.
We have Nick here to talk about some bridge and road and bridge items.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Nick.
So I have a few items here today. The one's the fuel bid opening, but we can't do that till 10:30. So first item up would be approval for the payment of one of our 2020 box culvert projects. This is a project that ANC Excavating out of Marshall had. Final payment is $7,262.11. We're requesting to pay this as an auditor's warrant. And then I have the original and final contract amounts listed at the bottom there. As you'll see, it came in about $24,000 under what we planned on, but you know, that number stood out at me, but I looked through the items and there was 13 items that were low, ranging from $600 to $3,500, so there's really nothing that jumps out. It just worked out in our favor once, I guess. So,
Nice.
Mr. Chair, I'd move for approval.
Second.
Pay it as an
Okay.
auditor's warrant.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes.
Next up, I have a request for approval to make a right-of-way payment for Nathan and Janine Buntrock for $670. It's one of the box culverts we have scheduled up in, I believe it's in Altona Township. Nothing out of the ordinary on this one, just straightforward box culvert.
Chair, I'd move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Next up, I believe a couple weeks ago, I told you that MnDOT may be approaching us about a snowplow agreement, right? I did, okay, I thought I did, but just want to be sure. So we have received those agreements. What it comes down to, the short version is they developed a contingency plan to fill gaps with, personnel. If something with COVID-19 should arise, on that contingency plan, I think it was like a 10-point plan, and we're number 7, option number 7 down that list to see if we could help. So, so they gave us this agreement, or these agreements that work both ways. If they're working for us or if we're working for them. It just allows us to cross those jurisdictional lines and do that stuff, and we would bill each other for whatever the costs are, but it allows us to work with each other a little more. It doesn't require us to show up if they call, it just gives us the option to do it if it works for us as well. We'd have to take care of our roads first, but there's people in our area that use the state roads too, so it'd be nice to be able to do that. In that agreement, there was a line for maximum obligation. I asked on that what that meant, and they just need a limit for their paperwork. He recommended 50,000. I don't know, it might be zero, that we spend, but it just lets us go up to that much. If we needed to go higher, we can amend the agreement, but, also if we're paying them to plow snow for us, that means we're not plowing, so it's not like it's just additional costs, so. The only other question I have on this would be if MCIT is okay with this, so, I talked with Steve about it, we think they are, but, I'd like to double check with them first, so, if the board approves it today, we'd check, I'd like it contingent on MCIT approval, so.
Mr. Chair, move for approval.
Okay,
Second.
Lex seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
All right, well, that's all I had for now, so I'll
Okay,
be back at 10:30 for the bid opening for the fuel. Yep.
can we go ahead to the levy?
Absolutely.
Steve?
Mr. Chairman, board members, the two documents you have in your packet are, one is the spreadsheet, final 2021 budget and levy resolution 5936-20, and the final levy payable document 59-37-20. As far as what we went, this has not changed since the preliminary levy. We went with 1%. I did some moving of some money around in a few of the departments to make it a little bit clearer, but we're still at 1%, and we're looking at a total taxes payable levy in 2021 of $7,321,388. Once this is approved, I will go back in and make the adjustments. I'll work with Kathy and we'll make the adjustments to payroll and reflect that. So it's still within, we're not adding any more to the levy. So again, it's just taking it out of our 003 account, non-departmental, where we've got the money at. So it's not necessarily even a reserve at this point. So we're not tapping into our reserves that we went over last time with Tyler here too. So we're gonna be able to do this within the constraints that we have within the budget to take care of the 3%. If the board has any things they want to change, I would recommend that the board approve 5936-20 and resolution 59-37-20 as presented.
You have to have them separate, or?
Yeah, we can do them separate. That'd be fine. That'd be good.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to approve the taxable levy for 2021.
Second it. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And the second one is the county budget, which is 59-36-20, the large spreadsheet.
I've moved for approval.
Second.
Okay, Les made the motion and Chris seconded. Any other discussion on that? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Just like to make a comment, if I can, Mr. Chairman. The budget process, for those who are listening and department heads as well, this is a long, arduous process. It starts in May and June of each year. We have multiple meetings on this. Board members are highly involved in this as well. We work through this. Things get added, things get taken away, and I have especially positive comments for our department heads. They did a very good job of working within the constraints we're looking at for 2021. They did a fine job on the budgets, and I appreciate their work on all of it as well, and appreciate your involvement as well, board members. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to chime in as well too and give my appreciation to not only Steve as administrator, he puts a lot of hours in, but as he mentioned, the entire staff does. Department heads, we are very fortunate to have this group of people working for the county.
Okay, we have 10:30 for a bid opening. Anything else we can talk about in the meantime? Okay, then we'll have a recess. 10:30.
I think so.
Okay, we're recording.
So, we've been doing this every 6 months. It seems like it comes quicker than that, but
Well, we're
Time
meeting
flies
half,
when you're having fun.
and we're meeting half as much too, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. In Dallas, we did put in a 10,000 gallon tank a couple years ago out at the highway department so we can buy bigger quantities, so that's part of our, well, we needed to upgrade our system there anyway, so we did put in a little bigger thing there, but. I don't know, I think so, if it's low.
Yeah, it gets so low, we can order a tanker.
And the sheriff's department uses it
Yep.
too, off of that, and, I don't know about the EMS, if they use that for their ambulances. They use
Yep.
it.
County cars.
Transit too. Transit fills there.
Well, welcome back, Nick.
Yeah. Just checked at the auditor's office. We don't have any more bids. so-
Thought you were doing.
Good, you can proceed with whatever you got there if you want to.
Okay. All right, this is the bid opening for fuel for January through June 2021. This year, we were able to reduce our quantity because we haven't plowed anything yet, so that's good news. So first bid, looks like we have two bids. First bid is from Chandler Co-op. All right, their bid for gasoline is $1.75 per gallon with a 9-cent margin. So $1.75 per gallon on gas and with a margin of 9 cents per gallon. Chandler Co-op's bid for diesel. B5, they bid $1.82 per gallon. B20, they bid $1.82 per gallon. B5 for the outlying shops, $1.82 per gallon. B20 for the outlying shops is also $1.82 per gallon. Margin for the Pipestone shop is 9 cents per gallon. And the margin for the outlying shops is also 9 cents per gallon. Right, the next and last bid is from BioAg Energy. Right. BioAg Energy for gasoline bid $2.001 per gallon, so that would be $2.10 of a penny per gallon. And their margin is $0.4485 per gallon. 0.4485. All right, diesel fuel for BioAg Energy. $1.765 per gallon for B5 and Pipestone. 1.765. B20 diesel at the Pipestone location is also 1.765. Diesel B5 for the outlying shops is $1.905 per gallon, 1.905. And B20 for the outlying shops is also $1.905 per gallon. Margin for the Pipestone shop, $0.122 per gallon and $0.262 per gallon for the outlying shops. So that would be, that's all the bids we received for this. I believe it states we can award gas and diesel independent of one another.
I know we have split it in the past once or twice. I don't know if that's something we want to think about, but
Yeah, I would, that's the point of putting that in there, so I would, yeah, I would think we could do that and probably should, so.
Well, it looks like it would make more sense to split it this time around. There's a 25-cent difference in gasoline, and then really diesel, there isn't a whole lot of difference when you look at the margin. If it went up 9 cents, it's pretty much the same for outlying shops.
My only question on the diesel is, you know, the Pipestone location versus the outlying shops. You know, one's cheaper in Pipestone and the other's cheaper in the outlying shops, and I don't know if we can split it like that.
you'd almost have to get the gas from one source and the diesel from the other, and if, in that case, they're higher at the outlying shops. So, they're, yeah.
Yeah.
How about service? Are they both comparable as far as what they do when you call
Yeah,
them? I mean, whatever, I mean.
We haven't had issues with any of them, so.
How often do you use the margin?
I don't know, to tell you the truth, but I don't think it'd be a whole lot.
The difference, is only $25 if you actually do the math between the 5.5 cent difference for Pipestone and the outlying shops at 8.5 cents. And if you use the margin at all, Chandler would still be the cheaper way to go.
Who had the bid last year, or the last time, Nick?
I think BioAg's had it the last few times, if I remember right.
I think so too.
Well, it appears that Chandler Co-op's trying to give us a good quote here, and they're giving us a good bid, I think, but
Yeah.
I would be,
Especially on gasoline.
I would be in favor of giving it to them this time, but comments on that, or I don't care, I'm just.
Yeah, it probably really comes down to a prediction of how much we're gonna end up needing, because with the cheaper margin, you know, it's pretty close the way it is, so. I don't know that it, unfortunately, I don't really know that I have a recommendation.
The gas is still 25 cents cheaper,
Mhm.
17,000, but they're gonna use a lot of gas just because of the ambulance and the sheriff's department, and
Yeah, that'd be consistent.
the diesel might be more for plowing snow and that kind of
Correct.
thing, but, so.
Yep.
There were no bids in the mailbox.
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Anybody care to make a motion to approve anything here, or want to think about it a little bit, or? It's pretty close, there's no bad bid here.
I mean, do you typically use the margin at all, or you don't know, or?
I'd have to look. I would imagine some years we don't. You know, we've been bidding.
I mean, basically, it's,
I don't know. Honestly, I've never asked. I'm
if you have a
not,
lot of snow plowing, I'm guessing you would.
correct.
Versus if you don't.
Right.
And there's no way to know that.
There's no way to know that. You're right. Yep.
I mean, for only a $25 difference, if you don't,
That's true.
versus if you do, you're gonna consume that quickly.
Right.
Seems to me Chandler makes more sense.
What?
Chandler.
Well, they haven't had it for a while either, and they are giving a very competitive bid, I guess. I
Right.
don't think of it that way, but.
I'll make the motion to go with Chandler Co-op.
Chris? Okay.
Okay, Chris made the motion.
I would second.
Les second the motion. That's for the gasoline and the diesel, is that correct?
Think so, yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right.
I think they're both good bids, but just a matter of a few cents here and a few cents there. Anything else to bring forward today? Got Kathy done out of the way.
Recognition ceremony coming up for a
Yeah, that'll be
retiring
exciting.
commissioner.
Okay. Do we want to close the meeting then? I mean, they're just,
No, we can do that in open session.
we can adjourn. Or-
No, that's not adjourned yet. Yes. Yep. Decided that we're just going to reconvene the CARES Act committee, get together, and come back with a recommendation to the board.
So you're back involved with it or whatever.
Dan was fine with that, Les is fine with that, you're okay with that? Sounds good to me.
Okay.
We did that earlier, we just had some spare time, so it was early on.
So you don't want to adjourn the meeting at this point? Okay.
Not for a minute yet.
Oh. We have to,
Okay. Bruce, the county wishes to present a plaque to you in appreciation, and it reads, "In grateful appreciation to Bruce Kleiman for 8 years of dedication and service, Pipestone County Commissioner, 2013 to 2020. I'd like to thank you for all of your insight, all your hard work with the county, and wish you well in your future endeavors, in your retirement, enjoying
whatever they
Arizona,
may be, yeah.
in Edgerton, whatever you do." So, I'm going to present this to
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, yep.
Honored to have you part of the
Yeah.
county. If any commissioner want to say a few words, please feel free.
Appreciate the time I've spent working here. It's been years, but the time does go pretty fast. You know, the older you get, like they always say, at times, doesn't seem that long. But anyway, I appreciate the staff here. I think we've had a good staff over the years that I've been here, and our administrator's done a good job, and our sheriff's department and everybody, so it makes it a lot better to work here if you've got some good
Right.
people around you, so I think that's been a big part of it, so. Just on a note, I got an email from Dave Elbersma the other day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he said he's enjoying his retirement and stuff, and blah, 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 something. But anyway, yeah.
He left at a good time. We've had some weird challenges after he left.
Yeah, he had some health things going, yeah, but he's out there with his kids, but anyway. But, yeah, I appreciate the time we've spent with you guys, and, okay. Hope Dallas can, I don't think he'll have any problem filling the gap here. But, is that it, Chris? Shall we have some cake?
Let's have some cake.
Well, Bruce, I certainly have appreciated working with you, and I know that the county, your district specifically, but the county as a whole has been able to benefit from your knowledge and your willingness to share. You've done a good job for us and appreciate it very much.
Okay, well, thank you, Dan. Let's get the cake, Wes. Kathy, are you gonna do the honors? Yeah. The sheriff came down just for that.
Just in time.
I'll go wash my hands.
And with that, we could adjourn the meeting now.
Okay.
That's,
Well,
that's the
I
la-
care to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to adjourn the meeting.
Just need a
Second.
motion. Let's second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan, for being on the line.
He's gone
Oh, you're
already.
gone, okay.
My cake is on the way.